What's going on, guys? It's the Bulls and the Bears here with a midweek update video for the wheel strategy. So on the bottom of the screen, you can always take a look at my open positions. We have the ZIM shares, the Intel shares. Then we have a few cash secured puts, one with Las Vegas Sands, one with ZIM, one with DOCU, and then of course my month-long Intel put. So what's new this week? Well, that would be the Las Vegas Sands put down here, the ZIM put, and the DocuSign cash secured put. So these three I opened Monday. So we're going to look at that. I also did one on Barrick Gold, GOLD. I talked about this last week. This was actually one I already had open last week that carried over into this week. I think I sold it on Thursday or Friday for this week. So a couple extra days on the contract by selling it in the prior week for that extra premium. And I actually closed that today. So that's just a quick brief overview of what happened this week. Again, follow me on Twitter. Look in the description if you want to get, more timely updates of what I'm getting in, what I'm closing, this and that. So we have SPY on the chart here. Got a nice Halloween themed chart here for you. Purple background, black candles that are downwards, orange candles that are upwards. Anyway, so this is the weekly chart. The current candle right here, the most recent candle, is this week, and you can see it's green. We had a pretty significant high up towards 387, and we have pulled back from there, sitting at 382. Go down to the daily chart, you can see how this is shaping up. Pretty much 4 straight green days, and well, we have a nice topping tail candle here. Bro, that's pretty bearish. That's a pretty bearish sign that upwards advance completely pulled back down by the bears. If I turn on my drawings here, you can see we were in this downwards channel for a little while. We broke out. It wasn't looking so hot. I kept criticizing this downwards or this channel break because it was just red day after red day, every day making newer lows than the day before it. 3 straight days in a row. I'm like, okay, this channel break is looking pretty piss poor. I don't know if the Bulls are going to win out. Well, they won out after making a 4th consecutive new low, one after the next. We decided to surge up like crazy, and we've been rallying ever since. Today was a continuation of that, but we did sell off. So today's going to be interesting and see if this is a turning point. But I mean, majority of the week has been straight up, and that's boded well for the wheel strategy. So we'll start with gold, Barrick Gold over here. This is the daily chart still. I sold the 14 strike last week, somewhere around here, right? So it was pretty damn close to 14. I said I was going to be really happy to get a sign there, to the point where I almost wanted to buy shares because I really wanted to own this company. I'm a little bullish in gold in the near term, but I am still really conservative with the wheel strategy, and I would rather just sell puts with the chance of not getting assigned and keeping cash for free, keeping that premium for free, than taking on that exposure, that risk by buying the shares outright. Now, I know buying the shares outright could have yielded a much better profit because I could have got filled at $14.50. I'd be up over $1 per share on 100 shares, and I'd be up, a nice pretty penny. But it might not have worked out that way. It could have sold off, could have went down to 13, even lower, and then I was like, oh crap. Not only did I not get premium on the put, but I got filled on my 100 shares a lot higher than I would have if I got assigned. So however you want to play it is up to you. I like to be a little bit more cautious and safe and just take the easy money with the puts. So I ended up closing this today. I mean, you can see how far we've rallied. I sold them for 13 cents. I sold 2 of them. So I brought in $26 total. I closed them for $1 a contract. I netted $24 profit there. Not a huge trade. It wasn't the size of my other positions. I've been saying all my positions are going to be a quarter of my account, which would be $5,000 to $6,000 per position. This, I only put up $2,800, so less than half of that. So it's a very small portion of my account. It's more like 11% of my account. Therefore, I didn't collect all that much premium, but that's okay. Something like gold, I don't mind just keeping it at like 10% of my account for my portfolio. So I ended up closing that, and now we're done with it. So I'll just get rid of this line. So a nice $24 profit there on the week already. We still have several other names to go, but this one is in the books. The rest are still open. So we'll go to Las Vegas Sands here. This one I opened this week. We gapped down a little bit to start this week. You can see right here was the gap, and then we sold off, boom, on Monday, quite a bit. Let me just go to intraday charts here, because those are always fun. So where is it? This is Monday right here. Massive gap down, and then we just sold off. So I think I opened this put somewhere right here, not like way down here or anything. I would have got a much lower strike if I did, but I figured the gap down was pretty significant. It wasn't following like any earnings or anything like that. It already had earnings, and it actually rallied off of that, but it did come back down. I mean, overall, I was looking at these support levels down here. It's been holding up in the past. It's been performing pretty well. I think it's relatively flat year to date, if not a little positive, maybe slightly negative now, but it's been holding up very well for a discretionary name. So I don't mind this name, playing with it, possibly getting into it. I'm perfectly fine with that. So I sold the $34 strike on Monday. We sold off a lot on Monday to the point where all of a sudden my strike, the put that I sold, was in the money. I was like, oh my God, day one, and this thing is already greatly underwater. Should I roll it? Nah. Let me just hold off, let some of the week play out, maybe not decide to roll until Wednesday or Thursday. Sure enough, by giving it more time, it did recover. It popped up back up to 36. And then today we're up to 35.50. So we're pretty close to the strike. I believe it's about break even. So I'm nowhere near close to closing it for a profit, like a 90% profit. But it is above my strike, looking good. 2 days left to go. And I wouldn't mind getting a sign there anyway. So that is LVS, Las Vegas Sands, holding up pretty strongly. Not too worried about this one. ZIM, I decided to sell a cash secured put. So I have 100 shares of ZIM. You can see that down here in my positions window, down below. I already have 100 shares. I am trying to get 200. I'm trying to get filled at a much better price. This blue line is my cost basis on the 100 shares. It's pretty high up there. I'm trying to get another 100 shares down at these levels to get a much better average. It would still only be a quarter of my account, if not a little bit less. So it's perfectly weighted for the portfolio. I'm not getting too aggressive with this name for the sake of getting a better average. It will be less than a quarter of my account. So that's perfect. So I'm selling puts to try to get additional shares. I'm not just going to buy 100 outright. I'm going to try to play the put game, because if I don't get assigned, oh well, I'll just keep collecting free put premium until I do get those additional 100 shares. And if I don't get 100 shares down here, well, the only reason I wouldn't get 100 shares down here filled with cash secured puts is if the price stays above it and, trends higher to the point where my original 100 shares are good to go. So it's a win-win. I don't mind holding it either. It pays nice dividends. I believe in it longer term. These are good price points to buy, in my opinion. So here we are. I sold the 2150 strike. That's still open, so you can see it on the screen. It expires this week. I believe I got $25 for it. I need to actually bring that up. $30. I sold it for $30, and it's going pretty well. I gotta say. It's been up. We've been having green days since I sold it. So I sold it on Monday, like right about here, and we're higher than that. So this is actually looking pretty good. I have about maybe like a 60% profit on it. So I'm not close to closing it. I'll probably just let it expire. But that is where we're sitting at right now, and that's looking good. DocuSign is another one. I keep saying that I want to get into this thing. I want a nice tech stock for that, that nice growth name. I like DocuSign personally, so I believe in the company, and I think it's at a tremendously generous level. Obviously, I'm not expecting a $300 price point. This was a special COVID-related stay-at-home, people working on computers all day. It was a beneficiary of that, and it's come down quite a bit. But I'm not saying it belongs up here, but I think it could be somewhere up here, $100 or so. So, or even just 60 to 80. Who cares? If I get filled at $48, $50 or $50 or less, I'm going to be very happy. So I sold the 41 strike on Monday. It's not even on the screen. I guess I didn't draw a line there. Let's add that right now. Put this at 41. Boom. Go to the 5-minute chart. We'll find Monday. So we're in this giant green demand zone that I drew. So it's going to look a little weird. But yeah, I sold the put somewhere here on Monday. And, well, it's been doing pretty well. We're higher than that. We're at $49. I sold it when it was at around $47. It's at $49. And it does not look like we're going to get a sign. The way the market's been pretty bullish, it doesn't look like we're going to get anywhere near $41.50. I would have loved to get filled down there, but hey, I'll take the free premium on the put and, you know, move on. It will suck if this thing just decides to rip and rally and go to my preferred, you know, price target without me in it, but it is what it is. We'll just wait for another opportunity to come our way. And the last thing we have is Intel, but that's been open. This is old news, but just to show you where it's at, it actually got pretty close. It actually got above the cost basis today on today's rally. But then when the market rolled over, as did Intel, and now we're back down. But in the grand scheme of things, hourly chart here, we're looking pretty nice. I mean, we're just about at my cost basis. My covered call that I sold earlier in the month that expires this week is at 28. So it could get assigned. If we get some further push tomorrow and Friday, we could get assigned. And then this would be a nice successful trade. Good amount of profit right then and there, and move on. So that would be nice. If we don't get assigned, you know, and Intel stays around this level above 27, then I know I'll be able to get another solid covered call for next week. So I don't have to play the month-long game anymore, which is my plan B that I've talked about in past videos. I can just go straight with the plan A with the wheel and sell weekly calls on it. Because I sold the monthly call because it was way down here. You know, it was way down here. The weekly calls weren't paying enough if I sold it in the money, like in my profit territory. It wasn't paying enough. So I went a month out or 3 weeks out to get solid premium. And now it's coming due this week. And I'm liking where Intel's trading. So that's it. Closed gold for $24. And we have all these positions open, ready to go, including Intel, which I got like $160 something for total premium, which I intend to realize as profit as opposed to adjusting my cost basis. So with that profit of 160 plus, the 20 I already collected from Barrett Gold, and then the 3 open positions that I have, which amounts to another $80. You know, I stand to add another $214 this week to my October profits, which is already sitting at $119 that you can see over here. Oh, I'm sorry, $191. So if I add the other 214, that puts me over $400 on the month, and that's basically guaranteed. Unless I get assigned or unless I close them early for much less premium than I got for it, I'm pretty much guaranteed to finish the month up 400, and that's great. That's pretty damn good. I'm not going to complain about that. So that's where we stand. Market has been doing pretty well this week. Today's price action is a little risque. Go down to the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart. And you can see how we kind of topped out up here and then went all the way down, retraced the entire move today. Could we now be playing this out, but to the downside? Is that what's going to be happening? I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's where we stand with the wheel. 2 more days, we'll close out the week and the month. So I'm wrapping up October at the end of this week. And then we'll see, I'll go over not only the weekly recap, but the month as a whole as well. So that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the recap video and the monthly recap video coming up later this week. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe for more content, and as always, I'll see you all next time.